So hi, everyone out there in Revolution Land. We're so happy today to be speaking with our friends from IWC, who have very kindly offered to help out with a little project that we started this year called the Pinked Out Project. So before we start, maybe we could have our friends really just introduce themselves really quickly.
I'm Franziska Tell. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer and I'm chairing the Sustainability Committee at IWC.
My name is Christian Knoop, Creative Director here at IWC Schaffhausen.
Fantastic, let's get started. So, the reality of it is that as I'm looking at the stories of IWC in the past 2 decades, it's very, very apparent that children as a cause has been a very pivotal aspect of interest within the brand. But I suppose considering the way that the world changed last year, a lot of us are thinking about giving back to the world very differently as well. Has this changed for IWC in any way, Francesca?
I mean, in general, and what you rightly say is that children are of a very great interest because that's the future. And we have our Laureus project since many years, sponsorship and partnership. And then we have, for instance, the Extipery Foundation where we support. But then when we speak about or think about the pandemic, yes, it has changed. I think it has changed all of our lives. We have been all affected. I think we have become a bit more humble, towards health in general, that we see what can happen and how fragile the world has become. And now thinking about, giving back and helping and supporting, especially the cancer cause is, of course, that we say, I mean, women are of a great interest for IWC as well as a very important audience. And cancer or breast cancer in this respect is, every 7th woman gets it, right? And there is still not enough support, I would say, because we all are either directly affected or have close family and friends. I mean, we all know people which are affected by breast cancer. And knowing, that you have so many different types of cancer and tumor, even in breast cancer, there is much more which needs to be done to be really individually approached to these people who need it. And this is not just for markets where we have maybe a better health support. It's also for countries where the basic support is not even here. And I think that as we care as human beings, yes, it's the brand, but we care as human beings. The project you just raised is super important and very close to our heart. Hear that. Earlier this year, I think you might be aware that we did for the World Cancer Day on the 4th of February. We supported by the Swift race, the Solidarity race, where we supported as well, in bringing our employees and our ambassadors into the picture to really support helping with the foundation and helping with the awareness for global cancer.
Well, there are 2 things that I need to thank you for on that note. Number one is, of course, you guys were also there when we did the COVID Solidarity auction last year with the prototype Spitfire time zoner. And the other thing is, I think it was because of your team that we've made connections with a friend of yours that you worked with for the 4th of February as well. These individuals are at this moment helping us to also figure out how we're going to channel the funds that we're hoping to raise from Pink Dial. Wonderful how the world works like that when people look out for one another. But maybe I'll switch gears to Christian real quick and then ask Christian, because the Laureus Award watch that you work on since 2005 has a very special formula that you work on to make it special year after year. This year, the watch is launching on the 2nd of September, I understand. So we'll be a little cautious about when we publish this, but maybe you can tell us a little about that project.
Yeah, as you say, I mean, this is a long tradition in IWC to do this Laureus watch project since 2005, as you say. And We are creating a special watch every year, and it's not only designing a special edition to raise some money for the Laureus Sports for Good Foundation, but it's also involving young people, children around the world from the different Laureus projects to participate with a drawing contest. So we have lots of ideas, lots of drawings we receive every year, and we have a hard time selecting the right drawing for a changing theme over the year that goes on the backside engraving of the watch. And our challenge as a design team is always to reinvent the blue dial story. I mean, the blue dial was very unique like more than 15 years ago. Nowadays, you have lots of blue dials in our collection with many of our friends and competitors. So to create a special piece, and what we did this year is with the Pilot's Mark Automatic in blue ceramic, we create a piece that actually combines the typical color codes and design codes of the Laureus, being blue with some small red details and the characteristic engraving on the case back, together with a very contemporary design, reminding of IWC's ceramic competence, and ending up in a watch that is all blue, but presenting itself as a contemporary modern sports watch in blue ceramic, blue dial, blue rubber strap, and appearing and presenting this Pilot's design as a very modern and very crisp design.
No, I just wanted to say, just as you're saying that it's difficult to rethink how you do that blue dial theme. This year, you really took it all the way to a completely different sort of dimension, because I don't think blue ceramic is something that we've seen in a really long while, which is fascinating. But we might talk about something else that's truly iconic to IWC that you had to redesign and sort of resize this year. Could you tell us a little about the project of the Big Pilot 43?
Yeah, the Big Pilot 43 is the big story this year, and it's the next level for one of our brand icons, the Big Pilot's watch, which is rooted in our history and was first launched in 2002 as part of the initiatives going back also to Günter Blümlein. And the Big Pilot's watch really was taking the codes coming from military watch into a modern luxury wristwatch. And we had this watch in the market, presenting different movements, the iconic 7 days automatic movement, but also complications like the perpetual calendar, like the big date, and so on over the years. And we had an enormous amount of special editions in special materials in almost every thinkable color, which contributed to the iconic status of this watch. But we also realized that the product limits itself by the size for larger audience in terms of variability. So the idea was to create a Big Pilot watch that would have the same wrist presence, but would come on a smaller size, which becomes more variable, also for men and women, for smaller wrists. And this was the idea behind the new Big Pilot 43. And we created this Big Pilot 43 in a 43 millimeter stainless steel case, featuring one of our latest manufacture movements, the caliber 82, in a very pure and also complementary design, a design which was not just a sizing down of the 46 millimeter models with the date at 6 and the power reserve and so on, but even reminding of the iconic purity of the Big Pilot dial, and reducing this to a dial that is featuring a central second and is reduced to the max, as we say as designers. And this product we introduced together with a new strap exchange system and a new bracelet for the first time in history, we are presenting a metal bracelet on Big Pilot, and together with two dial executions in black and blue, this has been a very successful launch this year.
I mean, I think this will be the perfect time to talk about the incredible piece that you have created for our auction this year. And I think, as you said, the 43mm version of the Big Pilot in so many ways makes it more accessible to a wider range. And that classic, to use your phrase, reduced to the max classic look is fabulous. And I think the translation into the unique piece you've made for us is testament to the watch's classic styling. You know, I'd love you to walk us through the piece unique pink dial.
With pleasure. As Franziska said, I mean, in the preparation of this project, we realized, actually sitting down as a team, that many of us know women in their families and among their friends that were suffering from breast cancer or they are affected, and these are strong women. And all this initiative means also for us to stand together strong against breast cancer. And if in our brand there's one symbol of strength, then it's the Big Pilot. So we said, okay, we have to do the Big Pilot as a symbol of strength and as a strong message to contribute to this initiative. And especially as we launched the new Big Pilot 43 with this more variable size of 43mm, we said, okay, that's a perfect product, because we realized that there's a lot of women appreciating the men's timepieces from IWC because of their purity, because of their presence on the wrist. And we said, okay, the Big Pilot 43 is the watch to go on this project. And especially with the history of the Big Pilot that came in so many different colors and variations and materials, we thought, okay, we've never had a pink dial. We had endless colors and variations, but there was never a pink dial on the Big Pilot. So these were actually two things that came together very quickly, and we said, okay, that's a perfect combination. We have the right product that's giving the right message, and we have a unique color combination. This makes this product stand out. So we created a Big Pilot 43 in stainless steel case with a pink dial, not just a pink plain dial, but a pink sunburst finish dial that gives a beautiful presence to this product. And I don't know if you have seen the picture or if we are switching to camera now. I have the product in front of me, and this pink dial with the stainless steel and the white rubber strap gives an amazing combination. And it's a Big Pilot like no other, which really honors this very special project, and also puts a special light on women in IWC in this pink dial initiative. So we have the 43mm stainless steel case with an iconic pilot's crown, beautiful sunburst execution on the dial, and we have the glass back featuring the in-house movement caliber 82, and we have the pink dial logo printed on the glass back to remind of this very special project. The watch comes on a rubber strap with an embossed texture, which plays very nicely together with the steel color and the pink color of the dial. And we have given it a folding clasp IWC style, and we are confident that this is also wearing on very different wrist sizes in a beautiful and amazing way.
It really is stunning, and I think the interplay between the bold white Arabic numerals and the white rubber strap with that fantastic texture that you've created on the strap, that I think over the overarching impact of the watch is just unbelievable. And as I said in my previous talk with you, it's testament to how classic the watch is that it can be transposed into such an unusual and unique interpretation.
Now, this is also what we learned in the development of all the big pilots variations, but also the smaller size, that really proves the strengths of the design DNA and the design codes of the big pilot, that it allows this kind of variations without losing its character, without losing its attitude. And so this is a proof point for the design essence of the big pilot. And yeah, I'm really excited about seeing this come together here in a very unseen and very surprising color combination, which looks good on the big pilot. Absolutely.
It's really quite surprising because, you know, I hear you say that while the 43 was really made with perhaps the more feminine clientele in mind, the people who have been inquiring about the pink dial, Christian, they're all men.
No, I'm also not surprised. I mean, we're living in times of equality, and
it's great.
Yeah, no. The funny thing is, you know, like I imagine turning the watch from a 46.2, which it's always been since 2002, in all of its perpetuations, and even the complicated versions of the big pilot, to suddenly have to bring it down to 43 was a challenge enough. A few months later, there are these crazy people who come to you and say, like, we are doing this project, would you do something for us? So you have a watch that you just recently put together, and now you having to consider a completely different a color that you would have never thought on the big pilot put together. I wonder if that made you nervous, Christian, or Francesca, for that matter.
No, actually, not at all. I think I would say maybe I can also speak for you, Franziska, but things came together very nicely, and I think we have had very few projects where we said, okay, we have an idea, we have an initiative, and this goes along actually with our annual campaign and the new product in a perfect way, and at the same time sends what we believe the right message for us as a brand, not only supporting your project initiative, but it's really tying together with everything we do in supporting cancer initiatives, health initiatives. I think that really fell in place very nicely.
Yes, and as you just phrased it, I mean, the purity and the statement with the color is so strong, and it's beautiful. I mean, it really looks daunting and very beautiful, and it makes this great statement we need for that cause. Yeah.
I was sharing with Christian earlier, I think some of the more stronger pieces that we've seen come through for the catalog are also the watches that we had zero input on. The brand just did what took the title of the project and really made it their own. And in those instances, I think we've had some stunning successes, because it is truly the individuals behind the brand producing something that is first and foremost true to themselves, and thereafter to the purpose. So I couldn't thank you the entire IWC team enough for your participation in the auction that we had last year, and of course this year again. Tell us, as we end off, maybe it's important to ask, why does this sort of a message to send out to the world of luxury watches, why is that message constantly important to send out?
Maybe you have to phrase it a bit differently. What message?
Sure. Sorry. So this message of being a part of a greater cause, of making sure that we're always making an effort to help those who are in need beyond our immediate vision, perhaps.
I think, first of all, we produce a sustainable product. I mean, a luxury timepiece is meant to tick forever, right? And then just this thinking, that it is forever and that is appreciated, the craftsmanship, by humans, who really see, you know, what goes into that product, and we are humans, you know, all together, and that we then give back and really support, you know, where it is needed, is just what drives us as well, right?
Christian, could we get closing thoughts from you on the same note, please?
Yes, I think that I mean we are lucky to work on a luxury product and on a premium product, but there's also where I feel there comes the obligation also to give something back to society. We are privileged working for these brands. Many of our customers are privileged because they're able to purchase luxury products, and so the idea to give back is something which I think is absolutely important. But on the other hand, having the idea of a longer living product, the longevity aspect of this also means that you want to give a deeper meaning to your product. And I mean, everyone talks about storytelling and luxury, but we also shouldn't neglect that the importance, the emotional importance of luxury products for our customers is very essential. So many of the customers purchase these products with a very special idea for in a very special moment in their life, and also to give meaning to the product they share or wear because of their beloved ones.
That's such a wonderful thought. Francesca, Christian, thank you so much for your time this morning for you. We hope to launch this entire project really soon, and we're quite positive this is going to be one of our stronger offerings for sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time.
Bye.
It was good talking to you. Okay, bye.